If you're wondering why your Airbnb in Pensacola isn't printing money, here's the truth. The owners that are cash flowing, they didn't just get lucky. They focused on 3 things that make or break a short-term rental, and I'm gonna go over them in this video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Marcus. I'm 27 years old, active duty military, and the owner of a short-term rental management company, Coastal Sunrises, here in Pensacola, Florida, and we also operate in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Today we're gonna be doing a walkthrough of one of our properties. It's actually one of the top performing properties down in the downtown area. Sorry, technical difficulties, but we're going to be doing a walkthrough of one of our top performing properties here in the downtown area. And then we're going to kind of talk about some of the things that you can do to make sure your property, whether it's in Pensacola, Broken Bow, or any market, really these tips are kind of universal, but I will talk about some of the specifics here in Pensacola, Florida. All right, so this is the downtown paradise. Like I said, this is one of our top performing properties. We're just gonna take you on a walk through here, but we're about a half mile from downtown over this way in one of the best sushi spots in town as well. If you wanna book this, we have a link in the description below for you. Shoes off. All right, so first things first, the number one rule in real estate, whether you're in short-term rentals, long-term rentals, multifamily, anything, is location. So you have to ask yourself a couple questions when you're looking to buy a short-term rental. First question is, who is my avatar? So who am I trying to rent the property to? And then why do people come visit this city, or why are people coming to work here? So people come to Pensacola to go to the beach, right? So if you're in town, and I talk to people about this all the time. So if you're in town, right, you're gonna need some really, really special stuff to stand out, because people come here to go to the beach. So if they have to drive 20, 30 minutes, they really don't wanna do that. But if you're closer, like this property is 15, 20 minutes, it's not as bad in some of the other neighborhoods. And I actually put together a free market dashboard for this that shows a heat map of exactly where the properties are inside this market. And I'll leave that link in the description below, free download. And this is what it looks like. So when you ask yourself those questions, right? So who am I trying to rent to? So for this property, we're trying to rent to families who want to have a central location. They want to have access to good restaurants, stuff like that. So when you start asking yourself those questions, then you can see who exactly you're trying to market to, and then you can put the specific things in the property, which I'll show you just here in a second, some of the really specific amenities that are really desirable to families. And that's how this property has made as much as it's made. And now that you've answered those two questions, so who are you trying to rent to, and then why are people coming to the market, then you can start really, really dialing in and getting the best property and the best bang for your buck. Because a lot of times people will get analysis paralysis, and they'll see a really cheap property and they'll think, oh, this is a great deal. But really, you're 20 minutes from any good restaurants and you're in the hood, and you're just not gonna make a lot of profit. Like, bad design cannot outperform bad location. That's just the simplest way to put it. So it doesn't matter how nice your design is. If you have a shit location, you're not going to make profit at all. So that, I think, is the number one mistake that I see property owners make. But let's do a walk around, and then I'll show you some of the things that are making people profitable here in the market in Pensacola. All right, so here we have a really nice living room. We have a bunk room here. All the other properties are upstairs. Actually got the wife in here doing the walkthrough. Typically, we actually have our team doing this kind of stuff, but today we wanted to come out and show the property to you guys. So backyard, this stuff is a really easy kill, by the way. So out here, we have a grill, propane tanks, complimentary. This stuff is super cheap. You can get this stuff from Home Depot for like 250 bucks, or you can get it used, but I like to get new. Then we have a fire pit here with some nice chairs and string lights. So this looks really, really nice at night. And then it just so happened that there's some vines that kind of make it a little bit Instagrammable. And then here's the big stuff that people miss out on. So we have cornhole boards here. We have golf chipping game, and then looks like some water guns as well. Yes, we have water guns here at the property as well. But that stuff is like super easy. Like, seriously guys, like this stuff is like, all in all for this backyard, under $1,000. And this stuff is like huge to stand out, because like a lot of times people will just put a fireplace and like 2 chairs. Like, who the hell is gonna use that? Like, when the kids are here, they're gonna be losing their mind. They're gonna be watching TV. They're gonna be bored out of their mind, bugging their parents, trying to have fun. whereas they can come out here, they can play games, and then the whole family can sit and have chill time by the fire pit. And then back inside. So this is the huge one here. This is a game room. This is a one-car garage, guys. One-car garage, and look at everything that has been able to be added in here. So we have a shuffleboard table, a foosball table, 2 arcade machines, Connect 4, even beach supplies as well, and then the ring game that you usually see at bars, and then a beanbag chair. But let's talk about some of the things that make this unique here and make it stand out. So as you can see, we have the string lights behind me. It goes around the floor. We have some designs on the walls. So that was courtesy of the owners. We actually worked with the owners to give some recommendations and design layout. But when you turn the light off and hang out in here, it's really, really cool. The only thing that we're probably gonna add in the future is a mini split, because here in Florida, it gets super, super hot. But as you can see, so right here, we have the shuffleboard table. Really slept on, but it's really fun. It's a really fun game to play if you've never played. And then you have the chairs here. So a lot of times people will just put arcade machines in the property, and they'll put like a foosball table. It's really simple, but like they don't put chairs. They don't think about like how a small bar table, like what if, put yourself in the people's shoes that'll be in here. Like, don't be lazy about it. If you think about it, you have friends that are hanging out in here, and maybe you're tired, right? And you want to sit down, but you can't. You have to stand up, so it's not comfortable. It's not really a good amenity. And then here, with the games, right? You have a nice chair. Sit down in it. Make sure it fits. You can get stuff like this for super cheap. It's like, all in all, this entire game room, less than $2,000. So backyard amenities, outside amenities, all of it under $3,000. And even some beach amenities. If you want to be a little thrifty, you can get stuff off Facebook Marketplace, but this right here is also something really, really awesome about this property that makes it stand out. And let's go back inside and we'll talk about some of the other things. All right, guys, so we went over the first questions that you should ask yourself, where it's location is the #1 rule, and then actually taking the time to be like, who are we trying to market to? And then I showed you a couple of the unique amenities here in the house. I won't do a full house tour. If you guys want to see that, I can link a video below that we send to our guests. But I want to go over the biggest tip now. And if you're enjoying this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. But we have a school where we have a free property management course on how to get started with self-managing your short-term rental. But the biggest thing, right? The days of buying any property and then having it cash flow are dead, right? This house, I'll have some pictures right here, here, and here. It was a complete hoarder house. Everyone that I see in this market in Pensacola specifically that has a absolutely killer Airbnb follows the steps I went over before, but it was a fix and flip, right? So if you learn a little bit about the process of finding a good deal, doing the math on it, and then having a good plan, then turning it into a short-term rental, that is how you're gonna stand out in this market today, because the interest rates being 6.5%, 7%, if you just buy retail, put 20, 30% down, you're locking all your money up and you're not really gonna make a good return. Back in the days of 2018, 19, where people were making 20, 25, 30%. Now people are basically making 10%, except for the people that are doing fix and flips, because now they have all this equity in the property. They do cash out refinances, things like that. These are a little bit like more advanced strategies, but if you really want to get into the short-term rental space, I'd highly, highly recommend trying to do your own fix and flip and taking the time to learn about that. And if you need to be connected with some people, I have some great resources that I can connect you to, realtors, contractors, etc. That's the video, guys. If you want to see more like this, more property walkthroughs or answering questions on just how to start performing better, making more profit in your own Airbnb business, leave a comment down below. We can make more like this, or we can answer really any questions you guys have. And thanks for watching.